It was tough to really know what to expect because, obviously being our first time, wasn't really sure what the fan base was like here. We've had fans reach out and say that they've been waiting for us to come here for a long time, but wasn't really sure how to kind of grasp how many. And when we saw the last update of how many tickets were sold for the show, and I saw that there was like well over 1,000 tickets sold, I was just like, what? Where did this come from? So I think there's a lot of excitement between the fans, and that might be spreading throughout the city. And when we came here, we just feel it. We're ready to go and excited. And we just did our VIP, and the fans were like very, very excited. So I think we're just going to feed off that energy, and the show is just going to be amazing for everybody.
I think I saw some girls crying after the meeting.
There were tears of joy. I think of joy. There were a lot of really cool, unique gifts that we've never been given before. That was awesome. Just to see something from Russian culture given to us that we're not used to. It's so cool. People were very, very nice. Everybody was so polite, which was really nice.
Mirror, mirror, tell me who you see.
Oh yeah, we've been given some very weird things. Someone gave me a little box that inside had a razor blade with blood and hair on it.
No
I was
way.
like, it was in the States, in Chicago. It was at a Warped Tour, and someone gave that to me at our signing. I was just like, okay, not really sure what to do with this, but thank you. It was very weird. That one will be the top one in my head for forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's this razor blade right now?
I did not keep that. I'm sorry to whoever gave it to me, but I didn't want to hang on to that one. I think we were kind of surprised by the reaction of fans in a great way. There's many different ways that bands can kind of grasp or gauge what fans think about their band and their music now. There's streaming sites, there's all the social media, there's actual album sales. There's so many ways that we can listen to fans and what they think. And it seemed like every single one of those ways, the fans were letting us know that they loved the record, they loved certain songs, they loved different aspects about the record that made us just feel like they really responded to this one in a way that they haven't in a couple records. I think our last one did really well as well, but this one just felt like it even beat that, and we were very surprised. I thought, we've been a band for a while, people are kind of used to us now, so I didn't know if there would be that same level of excitement as there seemed to have been, but there was more than we anticipated, so that's great. Keep that coming.
Sick of every motherfucker that is in my way.
I've always found music and lyrics interesting in that way where, I know that there are many moments in songs that I love that other artists have put out that I kind of assign my own meaning to it, and it affects me in a way that is relevant to my life, but it's probably not the same for them. Or I've actually found out like certain songs that I love that I thought were about something ended up not being about that, and it kind of changes your vision or your view on that song, for better or worse. But I think that's such a cool part about lyrics, that you can listen to a song and interpret it the way that you want to and apply it to your life. And it might be there to kind of help you deal with a situation or make you feel really good in a time where you maybe don't feel that great. Or music can be there to make a great time even better. It's such a powerful thing. And for me, writing personal lyrics, I just write what I need to write, and however anyone takes it is up to them, and I'm fine with that. So it's cool with me. Yeah.
I sold my soul to my disguise.
Well, I mean, the best advice I could give is just what works for me, and sadly, what works for me might not work for everybody else, but I just clung to things that I loved, like music, and I tried to create things that helped me feel like I was expressing those emotions that were bottled up. I mean, as we already talked about, the whole album Disguise is about all these feelings and emotions that have been going on within me that I needed a way to get out that were really disrupting my mental health. And I chose to kind of pour that into creating the songs and the lyrics that I did. And that's one thing I would say is just try to turn your emotions into something of an art form or be creative. I think a big problem all over the world is, but specifically in America, is people turning to medication as a way to deal with their mental health rather than addressing the actual core problem, which is only going to be treated by medication, not solved. And I don't know. I think reaching out and talking to people is something that should be done a lot more. Whether it's your friends, your family, stop, being afraid to express how you really feel, and talk about it. Get it out there. The more time it stays within, the more it's going to rot, and the more it's going to turn you into just I don't know, you'll just kind of start to slip away and become more distant from yourself and your world, and it's not a good feeling. So don't be afraid to talk about things and reach out to people. I think I like hearing that more than I like hearing that a song, saved a life. I think music, as I just described, is such a helpful tool in dealing with issues, and I've been in the same position where I was in a really dark place before I even started creating music, and as a listener, it helped me through so many hard times, which is why I got into it as heavily as I did. So I think when I hear that, it makes me feel great in that, I was a kid that was telling that to bands as well, and now I'm a person, and we're all guys in our band that are being told that. It just feels great to know that we're out there doing something that we think is positive, and not necessarily going out there specifically to help people, but knowing that our art does help is great, and we just want to be there as much as we can. Each song is different for us. I mean, sometimes one person in the band will create something entirely on their own, or other times we'll share different pieces of music with each other and kind of build off of it. It really is just song by song. Usually it's where somebody will start something, and then they'll kind of give it to another person in the band, and they'll add to it, and then it'll come to me and I'll add to it, and we just kind of keep sharing in this cycle of making the song better each time that each person hears it. And then we go into the studio and I start working on the lyrics. We usually do all the music first, because I can't write lyrics until I know how I feel from the song first. So I have to hear it, listen to it, digest it, and then I say, this song makes me feel this way. I'm gonna write lyrics that feel appropriate for how I feel with the music. So I know a lot of people write lyrics and singing first, which is so weird to me, because I could never imagine trying to put that to music. I have to listen to the music and feel that first.
And what is your favorite song?
Favorite song on the new album is, it's really tough to pick. I love a song called Another Life. That's probably my favorite vocal performance that I've ever had in any song. I love the time I put into making sure that one was what I wanted. I really love a song called Undead Ahead 2. It's kind of a throwback feel to our first record, and I just love that it has like a super spooky Halloween kind of vibe to it, and something that we haven't done as much lately that we wanted to bring back, and I think we really did a good job with that one. I love playing it live because it's like such a cool animated song, so I love those types of songs.
Of one mind, of one soul, we unite to ride a cloud, so bleach your mess.
I'm not sure if there's any one that affects us the most. I mean, not at this point. I think earlier in our career there were bands that really impacted us that, there's, bands that even our name came from. So as we go forward and more, it's kind of just taking the sounds of different genres that we love and trying our way to kind of mix and match it in ways that we haven't heard before, or just make our own out of it. And I wouldn't say that there's any one big particular artist for any of us. It's just all the different things we like come together. There is a song on this new record that is pretty heavily inspired by a band called Muse, which was new for us because we've never kind of ventured down that path before, and we all love that band so much. And really wanted to try it, having a song that kind of felt like that big theatrical, epic, kind of atmospherical sound that they have. It's really cool. I think most people in the band usually say Corey Taylor from Slipknot, just because Slipknot's like one of the bigger band. You know, you ask what's the biggest band, and I don't have an answer to that, but one of the biggest bands is definitely Slipknot for us. I mean, they're just like everything that we, you know, aspire to try to get to be, and I think Corey Taylor being on a song would be an epic kind of generational, kind of like Jonathan Davis, where you have 2 generations of heavy music coming together for one song. I think it'd be fucking awesome. He's like a mad scientist. He's fantastic. He's like such a visionary and an artist that we've never, the type that we've never worked with before. He had a much different approach to things than what we were used to, and I think it made for the video coming out so much larger than life and so wild that is beyond many of the music videos that we've done. He was super cool, and it was a little tough for us to work with him because we were kind of like very timid and didn't want to speak up or didn't want to, you know, upset him in any way if we disagreed with an idea. But he took it really well when we shared our opinion, and we tried to make the best video that we could. He's super cool. It's, you know, it's surprisingly not that much different from what we've seen being here in the day that we've been here. It's just everyday life, you know. People wake up, they go to work, they do their thing, and there's typical shopping and restaurants. There's not a whole lot, but it feels like home. It's just, I don't know. It's really hard to describe a place that doesn't have like a whole lot going on. It's not a major city like New York or LA where there's everything. It's kind of quiet, but I like it for that reason. And so far since we've been here, you know, we went to the Red Square and got to see all the typical tourist stuff, and we got to be typical Americans, but everything else has been kind of calm and quiet, which is nice. I'm not decided yet. I know that you know, the new Slipknot is pretty up there. Of course, our record, duh. I have to think about it. I don't think I realize. It's usually at the end of the year where I'm like, I have to Google what records came out in each year, because I'm like, oh my God, that came out this year. I like lose track of time and what has come out. So I think probably towards Christmas I'll do my Google search and make my list.
What about Korn?
Oh yeah, I actually haven't even gotten to listen to the full record yet.
Oh, yeah.
The new As I Lay Dying record came out. I haven't gotten to listen to the full thing of that yet. I'm really behind. If anything, you're letting me know that I'm really behind on listening to new music. Okay. I think the band that's opening up for us tomorrow, I recently heard of them from a person that came to one of our VIPs in Alabama, and they were like, you should check this band out, they're from Russia. And I checked them out, and now they're playing the show with us tomorrow. So apparently there's a lot of good stuff coming out throughout all of Europe. I know there's a band in the States right now that's kind of blowing up from Europe called Ginger, which is really cool.
It's Ukrainian.
Yeah. So that's super cool too. It's awesome to see new bands coming out.
Yeah, that's cool.
What's up? I'm Chris Motionless from Motionless and White, and you're watching GROMKO. And I'm proud to be fucking loud.